Cool. Oh. Okay. We are shared. Yeah. Perfect timing. Nice. Hi, Carol. Afternoon, folks. That's a sun-dried tomato soda bread just out of the oven. Not on the list of things to do today because it's done. It was on the. I requested granola bars from Emma, and she requested soda bread from me. There you go. Beautiful. Perfect. Come and say hello if you're watching. It's going to have to come out. Won't be enough room. Hi, Jack. How you doing, mate? So I've got, I think, 3 fairly simple things to make today. And if there's time, if there's any suggestions, and I've got everything here, I can knock something else up. Fish cakes, which is dinner tonight. So that's, I think, 2 of the 3 coming from, well, I suppose 1 recipe is in the book, which is the fish cakes. There you go, page 29. So 1 from the book, 1 adapted from the book. Hi, Dan. How you doing, mate? You're nice and early. 1 adapted from the book, which is the cheese mite. I'm turning that into a spiced pumpkin or pumpkin spiced loaf. So same recipe. I'll just show you how to adapt it. Hi, Karen. And cauliflower cheese, which I suppose it's using the bechamel recipe and turning that into a cheese sauce. There are lots of ways you can make a cheese sauce. This is essentially what would be the more traditional way if you were making a bechamel and then making it into a cheese sauce from there. So, yeah. Hi, Martin. I'm almost getting the crew up now. So I'm going to do a couple of things at the same time. Do it until midnight. No, mate. You can if you want. That's fine. I'm not sure I've got enough food in to cook till midnight. Well, I want to do the bread first. Hi, Anne, because that can go in the oven, and that's a 60-minute bake. So we'll see that in and out. However, I'm going to start the cauliflower off. I've got some water boiled. Hi, Sue. I'm going to partially cook the cauliflower. This is two heads of cauliflower. They weren't particularly big. That's why I've got 2. There's about 1 kilo of cauliflower here, half of which I'll use in the fish cakes and half of which I'll use in cauliflower bake, cauliflower cheese. So anyway, yeah. So as always, hi Helen. Hi, as always, if you got any questions, feel free. I will attempt to keep up with them. I will attempt to read them out as I do them. But just so you're aware, if you're on YouTube, you don't see Facebook comments. If you're on Facebook, you don't see YouTube comments. So you might not see the comments that I'm responding to. And I it's too big, but can't find the other one. Right, so the loaf, nice and straightforward. Although I'm adapting the recipe, I haven't tried this yet. I did something similar a couple of weeks ago, which was I was aiming at a malt loaf style. So remember, like the heavy fruit, sort of dense loaf. Now it worked out much lighter than that. Hi Barbara. But I used dates. I chopped up dates in that. Not many, and obviously it does increase the carb value, but probably not much more than this pumpkin will when you look at the volumes that you use. You don't need to use a lot. Anyway, we're going to give this a go. We're going to turn this into a slightly sweet. It's not going to be a cake sweet, slightly sweet pumpkin spiced loaf. And I'm using tinned pumpkin for this as well. Using tinned pumpkin as well. So I think the last time what did I make? Oh, it was on the members, wasn't it? The pumpkin tray thing. The magic cake. So there will be a recipe, and I will redo it again soon. Won't be next week because we're not here next week. We're at a show, so maybe I'll save it for the week after. So I've got some pumpkin powder. If I'd have read the instructions, I would have realized that I didn't need to add as much pumpkin to water. I didn't read the instructions. I went onto Google, and Google gave me a completely different measurement. Never seen pumpkin in a tin. Okay. Waitrose. Hi Lisa. Waitrose. You apparently can get it from Asda. We went and looked, couldn't find it. And Sainsbury's also promotes it on their website, but never found it. So again, it's probably got to be a big Sainsbury's. However, we found a local Waitrose. They say clean your shoes, brush your hair, and you can come in. But yes, a £2.90 a tin. So they're not. Let's leave sausages out of this one, Dan. Let's leave sausages out. So if you want tinned pumpkin, then you can buy fresh. You can now. Let's face it. It's a damn sight cheaper to now go and buy a fresh pumpkin because they're available, and do your own bit. If you, we both went, thanks, Sue. But if you want a tinned, then look at Waitrose first. That's all I'm saying. Right, choose my recipe. So 4 eggs. So as I said plenty of times when we're doing this recipe, this is more of a batter than a dough. So this bread is sort of an in-between. It's an in-between a cake and a bread. Hi, Jane. All I'm doing as an adaptation for this recipe is that it normally calls for yogurt. I'm going to use the pumpkin instead of the yogurt. So I don't know if it's going to rise as much. Potentially, it's going to be slightly denser because we know the yogurt actually helps the lift. Still going to have the yeast and still going to have the bicarbs in. I might actually, to counteract a little bit of that, I might stick in an extra 5 grams of bicarbs. So instead of 145 grams of yogurt, I'm going to use 145 grams of pumpkin. This is 7 grams of carbs. So we're looking at 10 grams going in. It's only about two and a bit more in total carbs going in than using the yogurt. So it's very limited. The yogurt's 5. So yeah, so it's a small increase. There we go.
That's how much I use for bagels.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So Emma made some pumpkin bagels this morning with the pulp. Yeah. So what did you replace? What was the
majority of the liquids.
right? I can't remember what the liquids are in. Just of course, water. Yeah.
And the eggs are quite small, so I'll just have a bit extra water to compensate.
Right. Just want to break up the pumpkin. So eggs, yogurt, the pumpkin, oil, apple cider vinegar. So 100 grams of oil. You could use melted butter. Oil does give a slightly lighter bake. There you go, there was 100 grams in there. Do you mean who's Emma? Hi Angela. Hi Kathy. Hi Francis. And ACV. 10. Will do. Stay. Yeah. All right. That looks like all the liquids in. Yeah. Yeast I'm going to put straight in. It's not really going to impact on the. In fact, for this one, as a sweet loaf, I probably won't actually need it. Thinking about it. Yeah. Where does the steam go? Up. It's a high ceiling. It disappears. Right. So, thinking about it, the yeast is in most of the breads to help with flavor, give it a bready flavor. Because this is pumpkin, probably not. I'm not going to use it, so I am definitely going to double up on the bicarbs, just to see if we can get it to lift at least a little. I thought you were taking a selfie there, but Dan.
Right.
10 grams of yeast. Wrong, bicarbs. Panda, 80 grams of Panda. Right, am I missing something? Right, so the only, so the mixed spice, that's what I'm thinking about. So obviously the cheese might loaf that I'm following recipe has cheese in it, obviously. I'm going to be adding to this some heat spice. And just a little bit of sweetener. I suppose normal cake would be 100 grams to this. So that this is a 4-egg mix. If you think about the 5-egg cake mix, is 120 grams. It would be 100 grams for the 4. We found the pumpkin was quite sweet, so I'm only going to go half. I'm going to go 50. Mixed spice. Gonna need a good 10 grams. So this is going to need a little bit more liquid. The pumpkin's obviously soaked up way more than the cheese and the Marmite ever would. Do with mine. Anyways. So let's see. Normally calls for 50. So we'll start with that. I think I'm going to have to double that at least, though. Yeah, that's not far off. We'll go with 50 more. Okay, yeah. That's almost the same consistency as the cheese might. A fraction thicker, but not much. Ooh. Oh, that's good. 10 grams of mixed spice in that whole lot. That's really worked. Yeah. I know I don't need to line this. You might need to line yours. Hi, Dylan. So I would say, for safety's sake, if you're not sure, then line your tin. People rely on me, mate, now for recipes. I mean, it's like, I haven't watched Jamie for years, though, mate. So I'm not sure what he's up to these days. I did notice he's got a new book out. He's obviously short of a few quid. Okay, so this is 180 for 60 minutes. Right, there you go. First one done. Look at that. Nearly. Want it a little bit softer. I suppose I can take some out. I don't want it too soft for the cauliflower cheese, so I don't want it to just turn to mush. So actually, I suppose I can take out the top bits for the cauliflower cheese and use the bottom bits for the fish cakes. It's watching so he can start making some stuff. What stuff is Dylan going to be making then? You've got the book. I like the sound of it. Right, so you got the book, Dylan. You got the panda flower. What is it you want to make? What is it I haven't done a video on? We will do the magic, probably start with cakes, yeah. So we'll do the magic pumpkin cake in a couple of weeks' time. Actually, 14 and a half minutes. I could get 2 meals done in that time, and have half a minute spare. Yeah, nice. He's looking in the book. I can make 7 mug. Emma's just worked out I can make 7 mug cakes in 14 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to take out half of it, which is for the cauliflower cheese. Coco's not happy about something. Pick out the bigger bits. Okay. Right. You can make the 90-second bread roll up. Actually, talking of that, I'm going to make some now. Right. Okay. Swiss roll. Perfect. We will do that very, very soon. Although, Helen, what would be a great idea is if we arrange get you and Dylan down to the bakery. Come down one Sunday and do a little session. See if we can find any other parent and partners in crime to come down and join us. Right, we're going to do 2 90-second breads now because they're going to be the breadcrumbs for the fish cakes. Oh, actually, now I've got my hob back, I can cook the fish. Yeah, I like the idea as well. We'll arrange it in November. Yeah, I know I've got a couple of sessions booked in November. Yeah. All right. Let's get the fish cooking, and then I can make the 90-second rolls because they don't take long. Yeah. So I've bought 2 bags of white fish, whatever you want. I've had it defrosting for an hour or so. It can be cooked from frozen. We'll get the shallot chopped for those. It can be cooked from frozen. You don't need to let it defrost. Just they were a little bit stuck together. So this is going to be on a medium-low heat, or low to medium heat. Butter, shallots, and the fish. And we want to cook them sort of fairly slowly, covered over because we want to retain the moisture. Don't want them drying out. We're not trying to colour them. Well, that's wrong ones. I've had coffee. I thought I said it was in there for you. Yeah. It's a little bit left. Hi, Sandra. Okay. Charlotte's in. Millionaire shortbread. Yeah, okay, that's a good one as well. That is one of Emma's, I suppose, specialities. She's the one that Panda pied the base to that.
Easy.
We can do that. It does fit this one. Fried chicken. Okay, we can do that. There we go. We've got 3 dishes. Actually, have I Panda? I have, haven't I? The fried chicken. Yeah. Sorry, somebody messaged during the week, and if you're watching, it's in the book. Somebody messaged during the week about have I? We obviously used to have the mix available, didn't I? I haven't got around to making it for the website for people to buy. I forgot to say to them, there's actually a recipe in the book. I was just like, sorry, we haven't got it available at the moment. Yeah. Thoughts on beetroot? It's very nice, Dan. That's my thought. It's very nice. What do you need to know? It's okay in small portions. It's certainly a lowish carb. If you roast it with the skins on as well, it's even better. Under 10 gram per 100. From what I can see there. Lots of vitamins, minerals in it. I've certainly used beetroot while living keto low carb. Definitely, I haven't had it for a couple of years. Tend to not roast many veggies off these days. We don't. If it's anything that we do eat, it's usually fried cabbage. Yes, you pickle red cabbage, but yeah, I would absolutely roast them, mate. I mean, they are amazing veggie to go with your roast dinner. If you 10 grams of carbs per 100, keep the skins on them, just top and tail them, chop them in quarters and roast them. They can be bullet like, so they do need quite a lot of roasting, but beautiful, really good. You're not gonna have a problem with beetroot. Yes, you can make Yorkshire pudding. So, hello, Carla. Can you make Yorkshire puddings with the Panda flour? Yes. They're a little different to probably what most supermarket Yorkshire puddings look like these days, which are sort of like those great big airy sort of just a crust essentially. They are a little bit more dense, but yes, you get the same sort of authentic flavor from it. It's in the book. I think it's online. I can't swear to it being on the website. Oh no, it is. It's on the website. Because I remember seeing the pictures on there. Yeah, Yorkshire puddings. So they're best kept small. Don't try and do large ones. Although we have done Toad in the Hole, and that works really, really well. We're obviously not expecting a huge rise out of that, but that does really, really nicely. I'm looking at one now. I've got 2 screens open now. Right, there you go. That is the recipe. There you go. That's the recipe for the Yorkshire puddings. Okay. So definitely don't want this to dry out. We want these juices to go into the fish cakes. So I'm just going to turn that on a little bit. It needs to cook a little bit longer. They were still semi-frozen, so you can cook from frozen. You just need to allow it to cook for a little bit longer. If it's from fresh, it's probably going to be 6 to 8 minutes. If it's from frozen, and it depends on the thickness, because I've got very thin fillets in there, and I've got the thick, chunky fillets in there as well. The thick ones are going to take 10, 12 minutes to cook. They're going to get recooked as well when we do them as fish cakes anyway. But let's make sure they're fully cooked here. Eliminate any of the issues. Right, okay. 90-second panda. Page 6. Can do a what? A beetroot powder? No, because it's going around fish cakes. I mean, you can do a beetroot powdered beetroot powdered 90-second bread if you want. Okay, ACV. What are you laughing at? Okay. Half a teaspoon of baking powder each. Pinch of salt. So I'm going to obviously make these, allow them to cool, slice them, toast them, and then we'll blitz them into breadcrumbs. 12 grams of panda flour. You can do these in sort of slightly bigger portions, so I wouldn't recommend doing more than a double. We've got a mold that is the shape of a slice of bread, which works really, really well. If you do a double in there, you get. It's actually we had this conversation. I think it was the early part of this week, wasn't it, or it was the last part of last week? What do you call the big chunky piece of bread at the end of a loaf? I know it's the crust, but what specific? Do you have a specific name for that end piece? Because we're from different parts of the country, and sometimes it feels like we're at different planets. But what do you call that bit at the end of the loaf?
Back to the recipe of it as well. A nice second panda, I like a pinch of yeast in there.
You like a pinch? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Would you want me to try
The best bit?
The best bit, yeah, but it's not the crust though, Sue. Sue, that the crust is the ender. I've heard that before. It's mine. Heel. I've not heard heel.
It's mine.
It's mine.
Heel.
The heel's a good bit.
Oh, that sounds very civilized.
An outsider. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Doorstop. Yeah, actually, yeah, doorstop is probably the one that I've heard more, because you get the doorstop sandwiches, don't you?
I think you're on your own there.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for another. I mean, obviously, Dan's not a real northerner. He just pretends. Essentially, that's what Emma created, was two of these Two of these inside that, and it sort of like half filled it. And I was able to slice it through. I think I've just offended Dan. You know I don't mean it. I'll do one at a time, so I want to see it. I think the one that I've put in first is the one without yeast. Just want to see if it makes any difference. Right. I thought fish is done. So we're going to let that cool because I need to break that down into in with the cauliflower. Yeah, I mean, it's firm now. I mean, I knew the smaller, thinner pieces would be done, but it was these sort of, this one particularly, it's the biggest, chunkiest piece that's there. So we're going to let that sort of sit and cool for a little while. Might as well do the cheese sauce. Yeah, I might as well do the cheese sauce. Yeah, I don't. Well, it's all going to come crashing in together. I mean, you know, I suppose that one. Can't see the loaf tin is too tall in there for me to see whether it's growing or not. No, no, I need a mirror inside it. Right, there's the first.
I'm waiting for the joke. I think it's a genuine question.
Are you using one type of fish? Yeah, it's just a bassa fillet. I just bought 2 bags of white fish, and obviously they just put in either haddock, isn't it, or bassa or pollock. I know you. I was in Morrison's. It's a grower, not a shower. Actually, I've realised, you know, Wellingborough Morrison's, they have reduced the size of the entire store. They've cut it down. That's why it just feels weird in there now. And I knew they were doing some work in there last year. It's only today that I saw through like there's some safe security curtains, and you can see the rest of the old store. They've just closed it off, brought it in, cut the freezer space down. Sort of a supermarket that doesn't really sell much in the way of food anymore. Right, anyway, there's the first of the 90 seconds. This is a little bit wide to get a sort of fluffy roll out of it. It's bigger, but it's fine for what I'm using it for because I want to toast it and get it nice and golden. The second one. Not much significant. See, he's come along nice and early. All that's happened is we've picked on it for a minute one. Yeah, not much significant difference between the with yeast and without yeast. Well, that's just because it's the freshest one, as in this one's been out for a minute. It does feel softer. Interesting. Well, we're going to toast these now. All right, bechamel. Let's do it on this. Page 18. 40 grams of butter. I'm going to double this up again because I've done a double portion of the cauliflower cheese. So this is going to be 80 grams of butter. It's 46. $73. No, good. 80 grams of butter. Again, I'm going to use cream and water as my milk. So I need double, so I need 40 grams, or 40 grams of cream. Make it up to 300. 150, yeah, 300 in total. Okay. Is anyone? Do you know what? I bought a load a few weeks ago and I've not had to buy any since. So I've not looked. I don't know. Is there a problem with butter out there? One thing about these, they do toast out really nicely. They're probably the best bread alternative. We'll let them cool down before we blitz them. Right. So the idea with making a sauce from scratch is that you take your time. Yes, you can cheat and you can throw all of this into a blender jug, use a hand blender, and it'll make a sauce. Melt the butter, low-ish heat. Throwing in the flour. I only need 20 grams of flour. I'll reverse it. Essentially, all we're doing is getting the flour to absorb that butter. We're not trying to brown it. We're not trying to cook it. We're just trying to get the flour absorbed. Sorry, the butter absorbed into the flour. It creates, you can sort of see like a paste, like a biscuity paste. And just let it cook through for a minute. How much is the bag of flour, as in how much is in it, weight-wise, or how much is it value-wise? Because these bags are sent out as 750 gram bags. So that's what's in the bag when it's sort of sent out brand new. They're 1990 something, 1998 on the website. So there's pounds. So yeah, just short of 20 quid, mate. That's obviously including delivery as well when we send them out. We don't need to sort of charge delivery on these things now. So you can see it swell. You can, I mean, it's no different to when you'd have made this, if you ever did, with sort of white flour, wheat flour, is that it swells. That's the whole point. We're sort of getting it ready to absorb the liquid, and I can just start to see it turning color now. It's ready. It's starting to go a little bit golden, a little bit biscuity. So we now want to be getting a little bit of milk in. And this is where you, if you really want to, you could cheat. You could throw the whole lot in, and you could use a whisk, and you can blitz any of the lumps out. Turn that heat down a little bit. It needs to be done over a low-ish heat. Yeah, it's the other toast. Yeah. The other toast is well, toast. It's toast. Right, just let that go through a second. I mean, look at that. Look at that beautiful piece. Look at it. Perfect. Just curled it around the edge. Okay. We're going to add some cheese to that quite clearly. I'm going to use some grated Parmesan or grated Italian style cheese. No, it's going to go in, Helen. It's going to give more texture. There we go. So I would use about 10 grams per portion. There we go. Obviously, that's going to give the sauce quite a depth of flavour. Put it down again. Nice. And clearly, whatever cheese you want to use, I mean, even that by itself has come together as a cheese sauce, but I want to give it a bit more cheesiness. I'm also going to season it as well. Oh, here's one thing you should be adding to your cheese sauces. Yeah. Bit of English mustard powder. Don't need much, about half a teaspoon. Really does help with the not nutmeg, but not in this house anyway. Not if we want Ella to be enjoying dinner. But definitely mustard. Hi Heidi. Okay. And I'm going to use red Leicester. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's definitely gone thick now. Again, about 20 grams per portion. So we've got 20 grams of fresh. We've got 10 grams of dried. So 82, perfect. What have you missed? About an hour. We've got pumpkin spice loaf in the oven, which actually, oh yeah, halfway through, 28 minutes. We're making fish cakes and we're making cauliflower cheese, which is this bit here. So we'll save just a little bit to pop over the top. It definitely smells cheesy. Nice. Same way you would make a white sauce if you're going to be making lasagna. You know, it's exactly. No, mate, it's red Leicester. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, xanthan gum will do the same job. So, I mean, you've got various ways of being able to make a cheese sauce. Xanthan gum will absolutely make a good sauce. That needs a bit more salt. Yep, that's good. Sprinkle of cayenne pepper. It's a nice idea. So that can wait until the loaf is out, and we'll just swap them over. Okay.
It's just the best. The best combination ever.
Right. So that's it. That's it. Ready to go in. Anyway. Oh, it's risen. It's risen to the top of the tin now. So you saw it when it went in. It was probably not much more than a third full. That tin, that loaf tin, the mix. So it's now risen to the top of the tin level because I can see it. I can see it. Right. Okay. Fish cakes time. Because we've got everything cooled down a little bit. So, just so you're aware, we're definitely not here next week because we're in Birmingham. We've got the keto show, so the keto and low carb food festival show on the Sunday, and we're also there on the Saturday at the Free From show. The Free From show is sold out, but if anyone hasn't got a ticket for Sunday, then I know that they've still got tickets available. So we'll be there obviously on both days. They've asked me to do in Birmingham. They've asked me to do another Panda half hour. So I'll be doing that. Although I'm not allowed to cook. So it's always difficult to sort of to make things Panda and then not being able to cook anything. But I'm just going to blitz some of this down. Nice, well done. Actually, should be able to do in a couple of batches. Right, let me read the instructions for the fish cake because I've forgotten. I'm pretty much. I think I've got everything together now, i.e., fish, cauliflower, sesame sauce. Let's pass that one. Goes in and parsley. Yes, that's what I've got there. Yeah, so I've definitely. Has anyone ever had any luck recently getting hold of a Ninja processor bowl? Because they haven't had any in. I'm struggling to repair my Ninja bowl, which is why I'm having to use the little one to do jobs it's clearly not meant to do. They never seem to have them in stock. Again, I'm doing this as a. The recipe is written for 2 portions. I'm doing this as a 4 portion. Just I think Ella will join us for dinner tonight. So I'm not blitzing this down so it's like a creamy mash. Prefer a bit more texture to mine. If you wanted it smooth, just blitz for a little bit longer. There you go. If you want to cheat, then yes, you could use those bags of cauliflower rice. Do the same job. It'll cost 3 times as much, but it will do the same job. Right, so cauliflower done. You can obviously use broccoli if you wanted. We've done that before. I would suggest you use more of the stalk than the head on the broccoli for that. It'll give you a better texture. The fish just gets broken up into that. Yeah, this is why you want it sort of at least so you can handle it. So it's warm, but it's not hot. Again, we're going to be using all of the liquid as well, so all of the flavour that's in there. Don't want to blitz this. You want to actually have little flakes of fish in the fish cakes. Wow, my screen man's back out. I suppose the sun is out today. Although it was quite crisp this morning on the dog walk. And then don't forget all the butter and the shallots all in there. Right, I know I'm going to need to chop some parsley up. Just, that's 20 minutes to go. Just getting the smell of the pumpkin spice now. I just got a whiff of it that's down there. Yeah, Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, I'll better blitz the breadcrumbs as well. What's it saying? Yeah, I've this will be the third bowl. It's either I bite the bullet and buy a different food processor, or try and get a bowl replacement. Yeah, the bowls themselves are not cheap, and as Francis said, well, in fact, the last time one of them went, it was me doing exactly this. It was a couple of years ago, but I was just blitzing cauliflower, nothing more than that. And the connection just gave way. Again, if you're coming to next Sunday show, the Keto show, remember it's the last one they're going to be running now as well. So next year it'll just be free from. You will find some of the guys that are there on the Saturday are useful, but they are more focused on. They're more focused on gluten-free and dairy-free. That's their specifications for the Saturday. Perfect. That's beautiful. And those little brown black flecks, they're perfect. There's my breadcrumbs for my fish cakes. Okay. We've got some fresh parsley. Got a big bag of it earlier in the week. Let's use it up. You can obviously use any dried herb that you want, really. And then obviously just following the straightforward recipe, but if you want to season these with something a little bit more interesting than parsley, then you could always add a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of curry powder, something like that. If you want a slightly different fish cake, about the flavors. I'll do. Dill, anything like that? Yeah, we've got an absolute truckload of dill. Right. Okay. I think that's all of my dry ingredients in. Well, with the exception of panda flour. 30 grams, and there's an egg as well. Okay, yeah, everything's in. I just need to season it as well. I know I seasoned the cauliflower, but I didn't season the fish. We'll just go with a couple of spoons to start with. The breadcrumbs did. Need another egg. Oh. 13 minutes for the loaf. Actually, I think this will be all fairly nicely timed. Panda. So 60 grams. Yeah, 60 grams in total. Again, I'm doing a double portion. And then just get in there a mix. Got a stand mixer, you'd be able to do all of this in a stand mixer. Now, I'm going to fry some of these, but you could obviously also bake them as well. Everything's fully cooked. We've just put egg in here, but even just popping them in the oven for 15 minutes, that'll deal with the egg. So you are just reheating them essentially. We're just going to coat them in breadcrumbs, and then I think it's got both in there. It's got both cooking methods in there. Pop them in the oven. I mean, 15 minutes, 20 absolute maximum, depending on the size of the fish cake that you're making. I'm actually going to use a portioner. I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, that feels okay. Going to give it a minute just for the Panda, just to soak up a little bit more of that liquid. But it's not overly wet. It's always going to be maybe a fraction different, just that, due to how much moisture the cauliflower's got in it. But I can feel it. They're holding as a fish cake, so they're not going to break up. They're all good. If it feels too sort of damp, too wet, then just add a little bit more flour to it. It'd be like 5-10 grams max on a double portion. Right, let me clear some of this space off, and then we can do some scooping and rolling. Oh. Just going to have a little bit of oil in the pan. That is a little. Maybe a little bit more. It won't need much. I mean, the pan's still got some of the butter in from frying the shallots. Obviously, the fish cakes, the breadcrumbs have already got a reasonable amount of colour in them as well. Again, if you can make that in advance and then toast it, speeds the whole process up on the day. Right, so a portioner. I'm going to weigh it out to sort of give you an idea. This is probably a sort of like a 70 and 80 gram portioner, which most people will know as an ice cream scoop in the catering industry. So 78 grams. So if you're doing things like this on a regular basis, then having something like that really helps. You don't have to weigh it all. That's it. I won't weigh another one. I know what the mix is now. Into the breadcrumb. Shape. Done. So just run your hand over the top of it. You can straight into the breadcrumb. Throw it around in the breadcrumb. And if you get really clever, use the bowl as your leveler.
You do better than that, okay.
Yeah. I'm probably going to get, blimey, I think I'm probably going to get maybe 14, 12, 14, maybe more than that. I'm not sure. They're probably slightly small. I think in the book we break it up into, it says 4 or 6. So, you know, doing it this way, it just gives you a very accurate way of going, okay, so what's the portion? If the recipe is 2, it might end up being 4 of these little fish cakes. Nice. Yeah, I reckon I'm sort of coming to about halfway down the mix now. And that's 2, 4, 6, 7. Get one more in there. I'll do the others as baked. So if you think about this recipe, if you want to freeze them now. Freeze them at that point. Everything there is cooked with the exception of the egg, and that will cook once it's in its final process. So if you want to make a batch up and then freeze them before you do this. You could always freeze them after you've baked them, but they're potentially going to dry out a little bit when you come to reheat them. So freeze them at this point here. All right, 5 minutes away from our loaf being ready. Cauliflower cheese can go in. It looks like we're going to finish early. Unless there's anything that you can think of that I might be able to make for you now. The fish was frozen raw, fully cooked, and then it can be refrozen. So we fully cooked it from that frozen state. And then, yes, it can be refrozen. And I would say probably the best way for the taste and texture of the fish cakes from frozen is allow them to defrost almost fully. Almost. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily bake them from frozen. I would allow them to defrost a little first. Made fish cakes the other week. We used tin tuna. That's fine. Cook the fish cakes, then froze them. Yep, that's fine. Yeah. Nothing wrong with freezing something that's already been cooked, even double cooked. Pumpkin mug cake, please. Oh, I don't think I can stretch to that.
We've got so many pumpkin sweet things.
Yes, yes, yes.
That pumpkin is
No, we'll do pumpkin. Nice. They're good. They're great. Good non-stick pan, and you'll be all good. I'm going to add a little bit of butter to that, but a little bit of oil. Doesn't need much. All right, we've got plenty of time to make a pumpkin mug cake, and it is very, very good. Why do you have to? I would test any protein. So certainly on the initial cook from raw to the cooked state. So that's important to make sure that you've cooked it to what is deemed to be the safety level of 72 degrees. I would test it if I'm reheating it. Less to do with safety and more to do with enjoyment factor. You don't want to bite into a fish cake that's just warm. So the safety aspect is on that first cook from raw to cooked. If you're then reheating it, then I'd make sure it's hot, piping hot. Tin tuna, well, tin tuna has been cooked, so it's been fully cooked, hasn't it? So it's not in its raw state. In the tin, it's already cooked, it's already steamed. It is more to do with again, it depends as to what you're adding to it. You know, if you're adding egg, you still want to be. If you get into the habit of checking, then you'll never inadvertently undercook something or overcook something. You'll know when it's cooked. You can be deceived by how it looks. You can't be deceived by when it says 72 degrees. All right. So I got out of that double mix 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. 19 fish cakes. That's meant to be 4 portions. You may get a little bit more out of the mix portion-wise. Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. Right, okay, let me just do a quick swap. Can I get them underneath? I just don't know if they're not really gonna cook down there. It's a bit too. Although, actually, you can do a double. Let me just try that. I've never tried this before. You can tell it put 2 things in the oven. You can tell it using two trays. So we'll go 45 minutes, and then level 2. Yeah. Okay. There's a function I didn't know how to use. All right. Yeah, so it's showing two trays now. Okay. She's cleaning her car. Oh, not surprised. Although Coco is outside, isn't she? Where is she? So there's our fried fish cakes, and they should be beautiful, steaming, moist. Oh yeah, they're damn good. They're really good. They're good. Okay. You want some? Yeah. Okay, and then the pumpkin spiced loaf. That smells amazing. It's again, it's an in between. It's not the cake and it's not the bread. It feels like a spongy loaf. Definitely fully cooked. That's beautiful. I'm gonna let that cool down, and we'll see what that looks like. It's gone darker than I anticipated, actually.
Was it a sick drip with the vinegar next to my heart?
All right. So these are fantastic for meal prep pie stuff. These are brilliant. I mean, again, I've just by using that scoop. So what would they be? Makes 4 to 6. So actually, almost. Oh, I'd need to redo not redo, but I need to sort of work out macros wise. But if they're 7 grams for half a pot for one portion, then one portion would be those 5.
Wow.
Yeah, about it's like 4 3/4 of that size. So they're substantial. They're substantial. Right. Okay. I'll do a quick tidy up, and then we'll do the mug cake.
So she's not happy about the smoke in the kitchen, so she stood in the centre of the kitchen. Okay.
Right, the back door's there. Go stand by the back door. So she's turned around and gone back to her bed. All right, mug cake. Should know this one, but I don't.
I just need to make it more.
You can make it more. You're not a fan of them, are you?
What?
Mug cakes. You like your lava cake. You don't not.
Well,
I'm not seeing that.
Mug cake, I'll eat the chocolate.
It was a chocolate cake.
No. Don't go on, Mum.
Yeah, that is. I'm just making sure that this, because with no label on it, it's just the random bit that I make at home. Yeah, making sure that it's not a spice wrap mix. Yeah, that's pumpkin mix. Right. I can't make it. We haven't got any coconut milk. Right, so you can make these now dairy free. Replace the cream and the water, which adds up to be 55 grams. Replace it with coconut milk. I haven't got any open. I'm not going to open a tin just to take 55 grams out. So I'm going to do this as a normal dairy version. The dairy-free versions work absolutely just as well. So
Is the car on the door?
it is, yes.
Let me run a keys on this.
Yes. So I am going to use the pumpkin spice mix, but you can do this if you've got the component parts at home, i.e. you've got pumpkin powder, Panda flour, and sweetener. Although I've forgotten what the measurements are now. I'd have to dig out the original for the pumpkin for
a cake mix.
For the cake. Yeah.
It's about 45.
No. Yeah, for if you're using the raw ingredients, so then if you've got pumpkin powder, Panda flour. Oh, actually, it'd be I do know because you'd follow the chocolate.
10 grams.
You'd add 10 grams of cocoa. You'd have 10 grams of pumpkin, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Start again. So
Very complicated.
It's the easiest recipe, and then trying to complicate it, but it's very straightforward. 10 grams of double cream, and then making it up to 55 grams, or adding 45 grams of water.
We'll cut that open later then when it's cool. Is that what you're...
I will cut it open while we're live. I'll just give it a few minutes just to cool down. I'm using the mix. This is why I get confused. I've written the recipe to not use a mix, but the mixes work. So I don't need to add the sweetener. I don't need to add the flavor. I don't need to add the baking powder. I do need to add the egg. And I do need to add a little bit of vanilla extract, although I've taken it back. No. You added them all. You added more flour and more. If you're using the cake mix, you don't need to add the flour, sweetener. It must have been huge.
It's not putting on the labels of the cake mixes. The instructions.
How to make a mug cake. Yeah, I mean, we didn't know we could make them, did we? Okay. Yeah, so that's all the liquids in. Right, okay. So 40 grams of pumpkin spice mix. I have to double check this so many times. Where can you get clean? And pretty much all vanilla extracts are clean. I mean, it depends. A lot of them depend then on flavor. What they had before vanilla extract. Egg, cream, water, egg, vanilla. So it's just the liquids because I can't put the liquids in the packet with the flour. Cream, water, egg, and vanilla. The vanilla that you can buy in the shops generally is clean. It's just the quality of the taste. The small bottles can be a little bit artificial flavoring. I mean, probably the best one. I haven't got a vanilla version here. Lemon one, haven't we? So the vanilla version of that, and there's a couple of brands like that are out for clean vanilla. Okay, so as per usual, when you're making a mug cake, you're not allowed to make it in the mug. Yeah, the cake goes into the mug. You want a nice clean mug for your cake to go in. We've done doubles, so a double mug cake in that tub, that plastic tub. It takes exactly double the amount of time to cook properly. which is fine. And it works really, really well. So if you want to do it as a sharer, and that's it. You got a nice clean mug with your chocolate, with your cake base in the bottom. Nice splashes and smears inside. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So it's certainly much darker than it obviously was when it went in. So it was fairly orange when it went in. It's not risen as much as, so when I made the mixed spice loaf a couple of weeks ago, I did use yogurt with that. So this shows the difference between where it goes without yogurt and where it will with. So with yogurt, it's a good sort of inch above, so it will rise an awful lot more. However, I'm quite happy with how it looks. And it's gone dark inside as well. I actually thought it'd be more orange. It's still warm. I always suggest that you leave it to go completely cold, because whilst it's warm, it's weird, it's got like a very light orange tinge around the crust. While it's warm, it will look undercooked. It's not. It's just still got to allow steam to come out.
The pumpkin bagels, I think, are orange.
Yeah, they are orange. It's got to be the difference in cooking time and method. Yeah. So I again, I always recommend don't do this, as in don't slice it while it's warm. Allow it to cool down, because it will look a little bit doughy. And a fraction, it just looks a little bit damp inside. It just needs to cool down. However, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. It is soft. See, I'd want to go more mixed spice, but then it's not meant to be a mixed spice loaf. You don't really get the pumpkin coming through. So yeah, this is so I use the pumpkin puree, so pulp out of a tin for this. Replace the yogurt for that. So it hasn't got a strong pumpkin flavor to it at all. You can see that there's pumpkin in it because you can see it in the crust. You can see the orange. But the overriding flavor is of the mixed spice that's in there. It's nice. I won't lie. I'll be eating that. That, once it's cooled, sliced, toasted, butter, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it does need butter. We now let it rest just for a minute. Just for a minute. Do you want to taste this?
Okay.
Okay. We'll let that rest. Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll very quickly have a look at the cauliflower cheese once this has rested. We'll save this for later. They are great cold, by the way, as well. So these mug cakes, absolutely, you could make one, or you could do a little batch of them and then have them in the fridge. They are really good cold. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're really orange.
So these are the bagels that Emma made earlier. So Panda pumpkin bagels.
Try.
They're really good.
Yeah. That's the full recipe. Make 2 big ones. So you could do 4 mini ones.
Yeah, no, but that's a proper full size bagel, though. That's a beautiful bagel. It's a beautiful bagel. You should go into business. They look really good. Right, better with custard. Everything's better with custard. I'm still sort of fairly surprised when they just lift off. We've never had one that actually sticks in the cup. Can you smell it? Can you? Oh, that smells good. That's the difference, actually. There's probably by volume, there's a lot more pumpkin in that than there is in the loaf. No, it's going to wait till after dinner. We're gonna go for a dog walk now. We've got fish cakes and cauliflower cheese for dinner, and then you're not the only one, Anne. You're not the only one. It's the most made recipe in this house. As a single recipe, this is the one that probably wins.
We share.
Yeah, we do tend to, and I will admit sometimes I might have something else as well, but we do tend to share one of these. But yeah, no, they're brilliant. They're really, really good, and this is one of our favorite flavors. Right, and finally, because the little one's here asking for more food, so take her for a walk before. But not Ella. That little one is out there playing with a motorbike. What? You say that. They're both little ones. Right, cauliflower cheese. The camera is not doing it any justice at all. None whatsoever. I can't put it down. It will melt the board. But that's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's
Yes, it is bad,
just give it a jiggery pokery. They don't know overcooked yet.
Fish
Yeah.
cakes and cauliflower cheese. It's just the best.
Yeah, perfect. It's nice and still got some texture to it, still firm, but beautifully cooked. Right, so I can move them. And actually, they've only been in for what, 20 minutes now. They're just drying out essentially. That's all we're doing with them. But they're taking on a nice sort of texture. So the baking option might be a better option if you're doing a large, amount of you doing them as batch cook. Then baking would be just as good. Right, we're done. We will do some tidying up. We'll do dog walk. So yeah, not here next week. Please come and say hello if you're at the show. If you come, you can come to one or both. Is the recipe on Panda pantry there for the soft flatbread and white Panda? There is a difference on the white Panda. I'm sure that one uses yogurt, doesn't it? Because that's the one I used to make at the bakery. The white Panda flatbreads, I'm sure, uses yogurt, and the soft flatbreads don't. They're the proved version. They're my preferred version. It's just that I hadn't got that far down with development. So the white Panda ones, I don't know where they came from. I honestly can't remember. See, it's saying Yorkshire, but I think he's more like Surrey, Dan. I mean, he sounds a bit too posh to me now. I'll go now. Yeah, not here next week. See you at the shows. See you back here in 2 weeks. We'll make the Panda Magic custard cake. Panda Pumpkin Magic mustard cake. And whatever else. I don't know. Have a nice one. See you soon.
You didn't drop the magic.
Didn't drop the magic, no. Oh, we did the soft breads, Jack. We did the soft breads. We didn't do the white Panda ones. So we did the ones with the yeast and allowed it to prove. White Panda's completely different, doesn't prove.
pan fried it and then
Yes.
pan fried over baked ones.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later.